So guys, let's continue then with the with the class, with math class, right? So we already discussed the homework, the last homework, right? And I see that you don't have problems with this topic, or if you have problem, please let me know right now. Raise your hand if you have questions about the last topic. No, you don't have questions?
No, it's easy, mister.
Easy, right? So
Yes.
today's topic, it is also easy, right? So I'm gonna explain first the topic, right? I'm gonna show you some a presentation, right? And then we're going to work in the exercises, right? So let's pay attention. I'm gonna share the presentation with you first. I don't know if you can see.
Yes, mister.
Yes?
Sí, mister, se ve.
Okay, so I'm gonna place this here, right? Wait, guys. Okay, just let me take a picture of this. Okay, then let's continue then. So today's topic is, right? We continue with division, right? We continue with division, but in this case, we're going to change, right? From whole numbers to decimal numbers, right? We're going to learn how to divide decimal number, right? Using factor, right? Using patterns, right? And which are the patterns that we are going to use in this class? We're going to use 10, right? The numbers of the place value, right? That we have ones. Like for example, here you have ones, right? Tens, right? Hundreds and thousands, right? That are the same of the place value, right? And also we are going to use, this is the standard form, and we are going to use exponential form, right? That when we use exponential form, we know that it is 10 to the zero power, right? And then 10 to the first power, right? 10 to the second power, and 10 to the third power, right? So in this chart, guys, I don't know if you can see this chart. In this chart, it is explained, right, that 1 is equal to, say, right, 10 to the 0 power, right? And now we have 10, that it is equal to 10 to the first power, right? And then we have 100, right? That is equal to the 10 to the second power, right? That is, these are the power of 10s, right? And then we have 1,000, that is equal to 10 to the third power, right? And what happened if I would have here, right, 10,000? For example, 10,000 would be equal to 10 to
10
the
at the
which,
third, and the third power.
to the
10 at the
which power?
third one.
No, because we have 1,000 that is to the third power, right? And what happened if I would have
I
10,000?
say third one. I say third, mister.
No, pay attention to the, listen to the question. Here I have 10,000, right? I have 3 zeros here. So it means that I have 10 to the third power, right? And what happened if I would have here 10 thousands? How many zeros we have in 10,000?
4.
4 zeros,
Four.
right? So 10,000 would be equal to 10 to the
Four.
fourth
Power.
power, right? So now, and how we're going to divide these numbers, decimal numbers?
And
We are going to, listen, we are going to, when we are a number divided by 10 is less than number, right? Moving the decimal point to your left, right? To your left, decrease the number's value, right? Place value is based in 10, so dividing by 10 has the same result as moving the decimal point one place to your what? To your right. You have to move the
Left.
decimal point to your right
Left.
or to your left.
Left.
Yes, what?
Left.
Yes. To what side you have to move the decimal point? To your left or to your right?
the left.
To your left, right? Because it says that when you move the decimal point to your left, decrease the number's value, right? And when we are dividing, we have decreasing the numbers, right? So here we have some examples, right? The first one that we have 1 or 10 to the 0 power, that is the same, right? Remember that these two numbers are the same, right? In some exercises, you may find 1, right? Or 10 to the 0 power. Yes? So, and what happens when you divide a number for 1? The answer will be
The same. The
the
same.
same answer, right? Yes? So, now the second exercise we have is with the same number, right? But in this case, we have 10, right? And 10 to the first power, that is the same. So, and we have 89 and 5, sorry, divided in 10 or 10 to the first power. And the answer is 8
or
and 95, right? And do you know why the answer is this one?
Because the one
No, listen. Do you know how do we get this answer? Or do you notice something in this exercise? As you notice, guys, the same number that we have here, listen, okay. The same number that we have here, right? We have them in the answer. Yes? We have 8, 9, and 5. Yes? And the answer we have 8, 9, and 5. But which is the difference between this number and this number?
That yo
Which is the difference between this answer and this answer?
a decimal point.
The decimal point. The decimal point. Why? Because we move, as we have 1 here, right? We move the decimal point once to your left. Like for example, we have 8, I'm gonna write here, 89, and 5, right? So, as you have just one number here, the number that appear in the factors, right? Or the zeros you have in the number is the number of time that you are going to move your decimal point to your left, right? How many zeros we have in 10? How many zeros we have in number 10?
One.
One,
One.
right? And how many zeros we have in 10 to the first power?
2.
Two. How many? No, how many ones? How many? Which is the number that we have in 10 to the first power? Which number is this power?
1.
One, right? Because remember that this number is equal to this number. So it means that how many times do I have to move the decimal point to our left?
1 time.
One, right? One. So here I have the decimal point, right? And then I move
1
decimal
time.
point here. So the answer is, which is the answer?
8.95.
8,
And 95.
90,
Wow.
95,
What
right?
they say and
So
not point.
now listen. Now what we have here? We're gonna use the same exercise, but we are going to move to, listen, wait.
Mister, this is like the last topic. We see this with decimals.
Yes, it is the same. We did this with I think that it was multiplication. Do you remember?
Yes.
So let's see. Everybody can see my board or not?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, which was the number that we were operating? Do you remember? 89 was right. 80,
Of that.
89, and 5. Yes? And 5. So, divided in, we did 10 right now, which is the number that follow according to the place value. We have ones, tens, and which one? First, we have ones in the place value. First, we have ones, and then we have 10, right? And which is the number that follow? Hundreds, right? So, well, we will try with 100. 100, right? That is equal to 10 to the, to what?
Equal to
Second
The
power.
second power. We are going to write here, right? But this is not necessary to do it because in some exercises you will have, like for example, 89 and 5 divided in 10 to the second power or divided in 100, right? Diego Amador, do you have a question?
No.
No, you are raising your hand. What happened?
Easy, Mister.
No.
This is just an example, right? Because we know that 100 is equal to 10 to the second power, right? So what we are gonna do here? So if I had 100, right? How many zeros do we have in 100?
2
Two
zeros.
zeros, right? And which is the number that appears here in the factors?
Mister,
It is number?
102.
It is number 2. It means that how many times do I have to move the decimal point to our left?
2 times.
2 times, right? So, Andrea Monserrat, are you paying attention?
Mister, 100, the zeros of 100 represent to the number that we're gonna move to the left. And
Yes,
decimal
of course. You are going to move, right? The number of times, the number 0 we have, or the number that you have in the factor, right? In this case, you have 2 zeros, so it means that you have to move twice to your left, right? And also here you have number 2 in the factor, it means that you have to move twice to your left. So
Are 8.95.
8 And then we have 889 and
95.
5.
5, perdón.
So if I have the decimal point here, and I'm gonna, how many times do I have to move the decimal point?
In the left.
2 to our left. So I
Yes.
count 1, 2, right? It means that the decimal point is gonna be before number 8, right? But can we start with a number with a decimal point? Can a number start with a decimal point, guys?
No.
No, right? What we have to do in this case?
0.
We have to
Zero.
what?
Add zero.
A zero.
0,
Zero.
right? So the answer will be
0.895.
0 and
895.
95.
95. Do you understand, guys?
Yes,
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 mister.
yes.
So now
Easy.
solve this exercise you alone.
What exercise?
I'm gonna tell you which one. I'm gonna erase this. I'm gonna erase this, sorry. And the answer. So you will solve the same number here, 89 and 5 divided in 8,000, right? Or 10 to the third power. Okay, do it in your homework and then we will share the answer. I want to see everybody working.
In the notebook.
In the
In your
notebook.
notebook, in your notebook. This is just a little exercise before we start with the little, with the through one that appear in the book. I want to see everybody working.
I have the answer, miss. I have the answer, mister.
You got the answer? Maiden?
Yes.
Which is the answer, Maiden?
Yes.
Which is the answer?
Wait.
Okay, I will write.
0 and 895.
Yes, let's see if that is the answer. Let's see. So, and how we got this answer, guys? Pay attention to this.
We need to move the decimal point
How many times?
three times.
3 times, right? Because we have number 3 in the factors, right? And we have 3 zeros, right? It means that we have to move 3 times, right? But let me clarify something, right? And this one is that if in the exercise appears, like for example, 1,000, this number doesn't appear, right? And if this number is the one that appeared in the exercise, this number doesn't appear, right? Here I show you the two numbers, right? Because I want you to know that this 10 to the third factor is equal to 8,000, or 10 to the second factor is equal to 100, or 10 to the zero factor is equal to 1, right? Do you understand that, guys? So
Yes.
now let's see the answer of Baden, right? We have to move how many times, Baden?
3 times.
We have 3 zeros here. So,
Because have 3
and
zeros.
then we have
And
here
move,
one, right?
Yes.
2, But what happened here? I can continue because I don't have another number, right? And then here I add
Have 0.
0, right? But I have to move once times again, right? Once. And the decimal point would be here, right? Yes? But what happened? Can a number start with a decimal point?
No.
No, right? So I need to add a 0,
Another zero.
right?
Other
So
0.
the answer would be 0, okay?
And 0, 895.
0, 800. Sorry with that because that is so ugly.
95.
95. That's the answer, guys. These exercises are simple, right? Because you don't have to be adding numbers, subtracting numbers, right? The only thing is that you have to count, right? Or identify how many times do I have to move that decimal
Mister.
point, right? And we
Mister,
always will move the
and that's
decimal
it.
point to our left. Okay?
Sure.
Tell me.
Yes.
Johan.
The zeros was are after what the decimal point don't have valor.
Value.
Yes,
Okay, could you please repeat your question?
was are after the decimal point
The
don't
numbers,
have value.
the numbers we have after the decimal point, yes, they have. Yes, they have.
Antes,
Because
antes,
if we have,
mister.
like for example here, right? Remember that after we have the ones, we have the hundreds, right? In the place value, right? That are tens, right? Hundreds and thousands, that are the last one number, right? In this case, like for example, in this number, this one would be the tens, right? We have 0 tens here. In this case, guys, we start from here, right? The hundreds in the place value, right? And here we have the ones that are, right? The ones that we know in the normal place value. And then here we have the tens, right? But yeah, we are talking here about decimal points, right? About decimal number, right? Then we have the tens here, right? And then after tens, we have what? Hundreds, right? Hundreds, and then thousands, and after thousands, we have what?
10,000.
10,000.
10,000. So, do these numbers have a value or not?
Yes.
Yes, they have. Why? Because in here we have 0 tens, right? But we have 800, right? We have 900, 9,000, sorry, and we have 10,000. So do they have value? Yes, they have. But remember that they are in the other part of the place value, right? So now let's continue then. We're going to solve some exercises. We're going to solve some exercises. I don't know if you can see the presentation. Can you see the presentation, guys?
No, mister.
No.
Trabado.
No.
No?
Se trabó y estaba sola
En la
la cosa
pizarrita.
borrada.
What about now?
Sí, mister, se trabó.
No, mister.
No.
Nada. No.
Okay,
No, nada, mister.
No, mister.
wait.
Vuelve a poner.
Se veía todo borrado.
Yes, what about now?
Cargando.
Yes.
Ahí vendo.
Yes.
Sí, sí, se mira.
Yes.
Ahora sí.
So,
Ahora sí.
these are the first some exercises that appear in the book, but I write it here because I write them here in order you to solve it, right? So let's start with the first exercise. Please solve it on your notebook. These 3 exercises.
Easy.
Easy. Right?
Mister, I have the
Take,
answer.
listen, you have to remember that you have to take into consideration, right? The chart that I showed you at the beginning, right? That is the same, the pattern, right? That these one numbers are the factors, right? Or the normal number, right?
Mister, I gonna go to the bathroom.
Mister, I have the answer.
Okay, who got the answer number one?
Me, Maria Jose.
Okay, Maria Jose, tell me the answer.
The answer is 3.702.
3.702. Is that correct, guys?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Good, Maria Jose, could you tell me
Because-
why that is the answer?
Because I moved the point 2 times.
2 times. And why 2 times, Maria Jose?
Because the 10 is a power of 2.
Yes, of course. Is the number of the number in the power that you have to move. In this case, we have 2. And
Mister, I
another
can say
question.
number 2.
Another question. 10 to the second power is equal to which number is the
100.
place?
100.
100.
100.
So
100.
it means that we have to move, right? Like for example, yes, that's the answer, Maria Jose?
Yes.
Yes, it is, right? So let's continue then
Finish,
with the
mister.
second
Me,
exercise.
mister.
Okay, Miguel?
Mister, I have the last one. And the answer is 12 and 64.
12 and 64.
And 64.
And why, Miguel? Could you explain me why?
Because in the 10, the exponent is 1 and says that I need to move the point 1 time.
Once, right? So good. You have to move
Mister,
the decimal
I
point
have
once.
I do the other one. I do
So-
the other one.
Mr. Mime.
Mr. Me, please.
Okay, Miguel.
Me.
Okay, Miguel, Diego Miguel. Do you have the last one? Let's see if the, yes.
Yes.
Okay, Diego, tell me the answer.
0.725.
Yes.
0.7.
Which one is the answer?
0.725.
0?
0.700.
Do you think that the answer is correct, guys?
Yes.
Who said no? Miguel Alejandro, do you have a different answer? Or do you have the same answer? Okay, let's see. Yes, it is, right? Because we have 10, it means that we have just 1 0. If we have to move the decimal point just once to our left, right? So let's continue. So do you have questions so far, guys?
Oh, this team is very, very easy.
No.
Okay, now what happened here? Solve this.
Teacher, yes, the answer are 281.4. No cambia because they are the zero, no.
Okay.
vale nada.
You mean that the number will be the same, right? Because we don't have
Yes.
to move the decimal point, because 10 to the 0 power, it is equal to 1, right? And every number we have,
It's so easy.
It's the
and
same.
when we divide or we multiply a number by 1 or divided in 1, the answer will be the same,
It's gonna
right?
be the
Let's see.
same.
Yes, good job,
Yeah,
Ana.
mister.
Good job. So let's continue then. We have 8, 9, and 10. Remember that these exercises are the ones that appear in the book, right? So we're solving them here, and it means that you have to solve it in your book as well, but you have the answer already, right? You will have the answer ready, just to write it in your books.
Mister,
So
we need Put that.
Let's do this 3 exercise, the last exercise, and then we will stop the class because it is time, right?
Mister, what are the page of the homework?
I'm gonna, actually, we are developing the homework, Gabriel, because these are the same exercises in the book, right? I'm gonna, and then I'm gonna tell you which is the page that we have to work, right? But actually, you have the exercises ready.
Okay.
Yes. So it means that probably you have to solve just few
Mister,
exercises.
¿qué página es?
No, try do it right now. This one. Solve this one right now.
Mister, ¿por qué hay coma en el 8?
And which one?
Number 8 has a comma.
You have a comma, right? Because that's not a decimal point. It is what?
A comma.
1,000.
It is
Entonces
thousand.
de ahí hay que empezar.
No,
No.
no.
Mr.
What? What happened?
Algo anda mal.
What happened, guys? It is the same, guys. It is the same.
Mr.
Mhm.
May I can say the one.
Okay, let's do, in order you don't confuse, right? Let's do the number 10, just the number 10. Do the number 10.
Finish.
You finish? And which is the answer of number 10?
NH.
Which is the answer?
36,
424.
Yes, of course. Of course, guys.
24.
Look at this. What happened with this number? Can someone explain me what happened with this number?
We change the comma to a decimal point.
No.
Start
Okay, you have the answer of the number 8. So I want you to tell me, or I want you to think why we have this answer here, or what can we do to get the answer.
Start from 0 and move 4
You say that start from
Don't
0.
have value.
Entendí. ¿Y por qué el 0 lo cambiaron para el primer?
So I'm gonna give you a cloud, right? This number is divided into 10 to the 4th power, right? So it means that the decimal point, we have to move the decimal point how many times?
4.
4, right? So tell me, how do we have this answer? Or what do we do?
Ay. Lo sé, pero no sé cómo explicarlo. Mister.
Listen, guys, I'm gonna explain you this quickly, right? Here we have a number, right? 2,000, right? 810, right? Yes? So, as in this number, we don't have a decimal point, right? It means that we have to create the decimal point, right? And how we're going to create the decimal point in this exercise? We have to move, right? We have here the thousands, right? Hundreds, tens, and ones, right? And then we are going to add the decimal point at the end, right? Because after the decimal point, we start with the what? With the hundreds, right? And thousands, right? So then I have, guys, how many times do I have to the decimal point? 4 times, right? Because we have 10 to the 4th factor. And then I move 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So the decimal point has to be here, right? And then okay, in here, if a number can start with decimal point, I will add the number. Which one?
0.
Zero, right?
Mr. Zero.
0, and so the answer is 0 and what happened? Why we have just until number 1? Why we have it until number 1? Because if you remember, when we have a 0 here, you can eliminate it because it doesn't count, right? And this number, right, it is equal to what?
Mister,
Zero and-
ese cero que está ahí, yo le decía que si valía o no valía.
Yes, yes, but this number, if we're talking about estimating numbers, right?